What's up, everybody? Today I'm going to be playing the Raintime, which is a visual novels type game that I didn't read much into. Actually, this is the second time I'm recording this because I actually messed up earlier because I messed up. I had some audio issues going on. Okay, so this is my second time recording it. I only got like a few pieces of dialogue in, but it wasn't that much, so I didn't spoil myself anything. So we're pretty much going through this together. I did read a few reviews on Steam. But they didn't spoil that much, luckily. So we're gonna just start. The Raintime is a visual novels type video game. As you progress through the game, you will at times be prompted to make decisions. Please choose freely. There are no wrong choices, which is refreshing. Instructions: space, move forward, escape, access game menu, alt plus enter full screen recommended, which is what I'm doing. Visit soka.org for walkthroughs, updates, and news about the Raintime, which I shall not be doing because we're going in this fresh. Vanilla. No experience. We're going through this together. It's an experience. The manuscript for this game was delivered to my doorstep in spring 2019 by William Hoffman, a distant friend of mine who I attended college with. In order to protect their identities, the names of all persons mentioned have been changed. 3 days after his unannounced visit, William's lifeless body was discovered in his room. So there's already a weird little kind of an unsettling plot for this story for some reason. I'm not really sure why, but it doesn't really matter. It's the cities. Whoa. I like the cities. That's cool. Okay, I'm just gonna... The Raintime. That's what this game is called. So, yeah, I know that this game is about a student, and you have to make choices and stuff. Like you play as a student, I'm pretty sure. I don't really know what to expect from it. I mean, you're a student. What else is there? There's not much to expect, really. Piles of books, clearly unread, are stacked up against the cheap plywood bed. The floor is littered with pencils, torn beer coasters, clothes, an empty cognac bottle, and a cell phone that vibrates with a sonorous hum. 28 times the small device rings, but it doesn't wake the sleeping student. He remains unconscious until late in the afternoon, when the humming has long since subsided. Wilhelm, Verdamenter, Miss Carol. A voice shouts out in ridiculous mock German. Lars, I say, you okay? Sure am. You coming tonight? We start at 9. I might be a little later. See you there. Wunderschön. Tschüss, I guess. I don't speak German. End of conversation. First conversation of the day. Could be worse. There's some music. I don't know if you hear that or not. On my way to the door, I cast a look in the mirror. I'm so close that my features appear all distorted. The sheets have left red markings on my right cheek. I strike myself in the face until they fade away. Okay. I don't know why the rock music all of a sudden came on. Part 1. Ideal. Oh, okay. I'm getting some visuals. I mean, I guess that's the point of a visual novel. After an afterthought of rain in the air, I cross the street and dive into a residential area, swiftly navigating the concrete labyrinth of post-war housing developments that make up the library. Okay. As I pass the houses and the cars and the gardens of looming evergreens, I gradually become aware of the weak sense of disappointment lingering deep within my guts. It's a solitary feeling, a subtle sadness, and though it's the first time I pay it any notice, I can't seem to trace its origin. Okay? No matter how far I think back. Yeah? I don't even... I mean, I'm keeping up. I just don't know where this is going. When I arrive at E-Mart, a security guard signals that the store is closing. Okay. Catching my breath, I watch silently as the last cars leave the adjacent parking lot. I take off my jacket. It's unnaturally warm for a December evening. Okay, now we're in a coffee shop, Starbucks or something, I don't know. In the corner of the room, two young guys are playing around on an electronic arcade machine. The dinner here is not much more than an outfitted gas station. It's well adorned with faded advertisements for unidentifiable cuts of meat. I order a burger. Okay, so it's not Starbucks, that's cool. And my attention drifts towards the boys at the machine, who are playing with stern determination, completely absorbed by their game. I take a step sideways so that I can glance over their shoulders. Suddenly, the guy on the left falters. Shit, I hear him swear underneath his breath. Under his breath, he steps away from the machine, slamming it in passing. You should have taken out the big dude, the other guy comments, shaking his head. He takes a coin from his pocket and resumes playing. Okay. They're silenced, both of them, with poses betraying immense dedication, as if their very survival depends on the outcome of that single game. That's how I feel too when I play strategy games. I receive my hamburger, and when I bite into the bun, the different sauces drip down onto my napkin, soaking it throughout. Okay, that's very detailed. And as I'm sitting here making a mess of myself, I can't suppress the growing suspicion that the owner must be looking at me. Okay? But I turn around to see that he's no longer standing behind his counter. Though the two guys are still there, in their corner, just as transfixed by their machine as when I first came in. They're very normal, uneducated country boys. The way they're fixated on that dancing game is how I'm fixated on Geometry Dash whenever I'm trying to beat a hard level. Okay, these days, Rybury's mostly a computer town, but there's still a small agrarian community that works the surrounding farms. I smile. These kids usually start working right out of high school, as there's not much else for them to do. And when work is done, they end up here, throwing away their hard-earned cash at stupid arcade games. Honestly, I'm the same. A blob of sauce dripped down my arm. Look at them. Would they have girlfriends by now? Also, when I said that was me, I meant that's probably gonna be me. I let out an inaudible chuckle. Whoa, it's Eminem. What are you grinning at? A coarse voice calls out. What are you grinning at? I jump. Whoa. One of the guys has approached my table and is staring at me with an indecipherable expression on his face. Okay. He really does look at Eminem. Like, am I wrong? I think I'm right. Excuse me, I reply as I put down the remains of my meal before attempting, in vain, to wipe my hands with the soaking wet napkin. What's your problem? He continues. I saw you laughing. Do we amuse you? I don't even know what voice to give him. Do we amuse you? No, I reply quickly. I was laughing at something else. Why would I laugh at you guys? He's standing right in front of me, staring me down with the narrowed eyes. This is scary, man. Good thing it's like the middle of the day, because if I was playing this like late at night, I would be absolutely terrified. I would be like so paranoid. His crew cut and pale, acne-scarred face evoked a militaristic severity. Answer me. What were you laughing at? Answer me. What were you laughing at? I'm dumbstruck by his persistence. He really isn't backing down. I start. He parrots me. Come on, boy, with your hamburger. He utters those last syllables in a menacing staccato. Okay. I was thinking about a friend of mine, I answer somewhat dismissively. It was just a joke. Tell me the joke, he replies instantaneously. He actually didn't say that, but instantly. Oh, come on. It was an inside joke, I add. You wouldn't get it anyway. I wouldn't get it? He sneers. You think I wouldn't get it? I get more than you think. Let's hear what pretty boys like you laugh about. My mind's racing to come up with something inoffensive to feed him, and he's just staring at me patiently. Okay? Bullying strangers must be the only entertainment he has in his sad, pathetic life. Well, I start. If you really want to know, last week I was out with that friend in a bar, a techie place, loud music, stupid people, sweaty DJ. Yes, and? He interrupts me. Well, we were bored, so I persuaded him to go over to the DJ and request something by Diepenbrock. Diepenbrock, you know him, a 19th century composer. I pause for a moment, awaiting his reaction, but he appears to have quieted down at last. Well, the DJ had okay, it's my voice. Well, the DJ had apparently never heard of Diepenbrock. Apparently, it was one of those obscure Austrian EDM producers. So he starts browsing through his records, looking for something by Diepenbrock. Haha, can you imagine? Now, after a while, Corey, a loud voice, interrupts. Corey! A loud voice interrupts me. Try to be mindful of our real customers. What do you mean? It's the owner, who has suddenly returned to his counter and is overlooking the scene with a grin on his face. Okay. Corey shrugs and strolls back to his friend. They continue their game. Jeez, that guy was an absolute butt. You know what I mean? As I remain, growing rapidly aware of the sickening scent of the cold hamburger in front of me. Oh my god, it must be so cold now. The greasy mince and the coagulating acid sauces have begun interacting, producing an almost fecal odor that penetrates deep into my nostrils. Ugh. Okay. I don't know what that. Some of the words I don't even understand, but I generally have a good idea. But this is nonsense. Abruptly, I pick up the burger and walk into the door, where I throw the disgusting half-eaten bun into the garbage can. I step outside and cast a last glance over my shoulder into the dark, grimy dinner, just to see the owner laughing at me heartily. And I try with all my might to look as angry as possible. What is happening? Where the pavement ends and only cars go further, a long wall of foliage has been erected to shield against the noise of the N723. Below it runs a narrow underpass which leads to a traffic island on the motorway. Okay. Cars flash by. I've just missed the bus to Bremersburg, and it's no use waiting here. They only come once every hour. I decide to walk to town. Okay. Ooh. That's a street. Did you know what a street is, kids? Because that's what it looks like. Carefully, I make my way along the narrow strip of gravel that separates the N723 from the fields beyond. The sun hasn't set, but there's a threatening field of some cumulus clouds hanging from the sky, turning the motorway pitch black. I know, this place is terrifying. This year it hasn't snowed yet, and it won't be snowing anytime soon. 4 years ago was the last time we had real cold down here. Since then, the winters have been mild and rainy, that's what I meant to say. A little further down the road, a traffic light turns to red, and the line of cars gradually slows down. Okay. Beside me, a light blue sedan has come to a halt, its engine running. Okay. I can make out a woman behind the wheel with dark brown hair and youthful features. Okay. Whoa, okay, I can kind of see the face. She looks my way for a second. Her image, contrasted by the lights outside, speaks a distant kindness, though it's as if she's staring right past me. Okay, that was strange. I turn around but see nothing there. Okay, the lights change to green and she returns at her attention to the road ahead. One by one, the cars are set in motion until she follows suit. And as she accelerates, she glances in my direction one last time before merging into the bright red procession that marks the N723. Okay. So I still don't really know. Whoa. Okay, epilepsy warning. Jeez, with some lightning. After walking for about half an hour, a flash lights up the sky. Okay. I cower, crawling up against the foliage as I try to calm myself. I feel the first raindrops coming down. I won't make it to the city before the storm breaks loose. Oh, great. Are you serious? Okay, I leave the motorway, hurrying past dark fields where winter crops grow, and I reach Old Hopetown. Okay, Old Hopetown. I enter the tabernacle, yeah, that's what I'm gonna call it. There's an older woman sitting at the table, dark hair, blue jacket, reading a book, sorry, I have a little bit of gas. The barman's talking to a regular. Okay, I order a beer and pick a seat at one of the windows, at a safe distance from the other guests. Okay? The walls here are covered with aerial photographs of farms. Okay, probably farms in the vicinity, as I recognize parts of the N723 or one or two of them. On one or two of them, I think. The barman brings me a beer, and while I take a first sip, I notice a pile of tabloid newspapers lying on the table. I open up the Evening Mirror. Okay, that must be some news source, reputable news source. 1848. That's just great. A large text ad cries at me. A little further down the page, there's a feature piece about a litter of kittens who've barely escaped a gruesome death. Okay, I drink some more beer, reading the gutter journalism and listening in on the mind-numbing conversation at the bar. Okay? And as I'm sitting there, with those aerial photos on the wall and the newspapers in front of me, I'm suddenly overwhelmed by a powerful sensation. As if my field of perception, which is usually so limited in range, suddenly expanded greatly. Okay. I see people in distant cities, in remote village inns. That's not villages. It's different. I can feel their breath, picture their faces, hear them mutter softly to themselves. Okay? and my mind drifts towards the boys in the dinner, who are still going strong on their arcade machine. Oh my god, those guys, stop thinking about them. They're just stupid. And as I picture them, my initial anger towards the two slowly gives way to a kind of admiration. Okay. It shows discipline, in a sense, to play the same game night after night in that murky little restaurant of theirs. They must be experts by now. They must be. Okay. I guess we left. And those are my fellow countrymen, my peers, standing there. In the meantime, the curly-haired woman has put away her book and is now staring silently out the window. She's stroking her left forearm with her hand tenderly, as though it were wounded. And then a vibration against my outer thigh. It's your phone. I pick up the phone. Okay. Is it your friend? William, where are you? I can barely make out Lars's voice, shouting over a barrage of background voices. Not voices, noises. It's not even noises, it's noise. Jeez. I can barely read. Why? I'm sheltering from the rain, I reply, in Hopetown. I told you I'd be late. Speak up, I can't hear you. We're moving onto the protest. The protest in a minute. What time will you be here? I don't know what voice to give Lars. I don't know, I reply, as loud as I can. Depends on when it dries up. I'll call you when I'm in town. It's dry now. Old Cobber, we'll be seeing you in a second. Mach, Schnell. Lars hangs up. Okay, he must know German or something, because seems to say a lot of it. And as I put away the phone, I notice that the little inn is suddenly wrapped in complete silence. The barman and the guests, who apparently followed my conversation closely, are all looking in my direction. Dang it. I smile at them awkwardly and move to pick up the newspaper, but I hesitate. Why? Matters like these are precarious, and I'm an outsider after all, making a loud phone call in here. I down my beer and step outside. It has indeed stopped raining. Good. That's good. Finally, we can go to wherever we're going. I forgot exactly where we were going, but it's hanging out with Lars, I think. When the reclamation of Artificial Island had finally been completed, the government decided that a sprawling modern city was to arise upon its soil. Okay. This is nice. To avoid repeating the failures of the major urban planning initiatives at the time, which had rapidly degenerated into characterless atrocities without social or aesthetic value, they appointed 12 city architects to design a distinct part of town. That way, each subdivision, the harbor, the university quarter, the city center, the numerous residential areas surrounding them was developed and completed in strict isolation from each other. Okay. Can you hear that piano too? So good. Bremersburg became a testing ground for modernist architecture. In a frantic attempt to override all existing conventions, the architects designed fantastic buildings in every geometrical form possible. A metropolis emerged that was like no other, with towers, balconies, false facades, and columns scattered as far as the eye could see. Okay. Another shot. I like that. Although for pedestrian, the chaotic whole is still somewhat navigable. Cars get lost in the labyrinthine network of streets in which only the broad inner ring provides any sense of direction. Great. How'd that work for you, architects? It's especially summer when Bremersburg is at its saddest, when the bright sun reveals in all of its glory just how eerily the city comes together. And it is in this month that the forever lost traffic is at its busiest, causing the honking and roaring of the motorists to melt together into a disquieting groan. Great. That's just perfect. The city is just terrible. I've never heard anything good about the city so far. In winter, however, when night falls early, the city truly comes into its own. Okay, good. Finally something that the city can represent itself with. As the corners and dead end flows of shadows, its architectural peculiarities are observed. Okay. Merging the colors and the textures of different buildings, which are normally so contrasting together into a homogeneous whole, with a visual complexity that's surreal to behold. During heavy rainfall, when the extensive drainage system is rendered incapable of disposing all of the water, streets turn into rivers, stairs turn into waterfalls, and basements turn into deep, dark pools. And the gutters and the drain pipes bring forth gurgling sounds, mysterious tones that resound through the streets, an unfolding dissonance of gradually dissipating rainwater. Okay. So the city gets a lot of rain. I don't think that's a very good thing either. Because clearly you were caught in the midst of that for a little bit. Okay. Where are we going now? Where are we going now? The lake lies dark in front of me. Fresh winds are rapidly pushing away the rain clouds, revealing a yellow evening sky. A long breakwater has been built around the harbor of Bremersburg, extending far into the water. There was a piece in the Evening Mirror about a drunkard who had fallen off it. A few weeks ago, he was saved in the end by a homeless guy. I scratch my hair, which is almost dry now. A tension is building in my loins that gradually pushes me away from the lake. I could use this time more productively to prepare for a lecture or something like that. But no. I chuckle. You probably shouldn't chuckle anymore, because the last time you did that, you got yourself into a little bit of trouble with Eminem. The music in Proteus is playing deafeningly loud. Okay. Yeah, pump it up, man. Pump it, pump it, pump it. I look around for a moment without recognizing anyone and push past the bar towards the rear of the building where some lonely men are standing against the wall. Okay, it's probably your friends. Lars pounces me immediately. Oh, that's Lars. Okay. He looks like some 1940s greaser. William, it's about time, he shouts. William, it's about time. I'm gonna do a little bit of a California accent. I don't even know if that's a California accent. I'm pretty sure it is. He shouts, trying to make himself heard over the noise. What are you thinking, walking all this way? Okay. I'm fine, I reply. You guys need beers? Oh, who is that, Timothy? Lars gestures that he can't hear me, but I notice Bernard raising his half-empty glass and producing an affirmative cough. Okay, what's this guy's voice gonna be? Okay, well, it didn't even get any dialogue, so yeah, sucks to be him. The bar's crowded with dark figures, men in their 30s, unshaven, some with baseball caps pulled far over their eyes. Okay. They're all drinking beers silently as the music's too loud for conversation. That's nice. I don't know why the music's so loud. If I was in the club, I would want to be talking with people, alright? William can afford to buy us beers, even though he spends all his money on overdue fees. Matt shouts cheerfully as they return with 4 glasses. Okay. What should Matt's voice be? It should be like high pitched. William can afford to buy us beers, even though he spends all his money on overdue fees. Matt shouts cheerfully. My fine's gone up to 38 friggin' 50. I call back. Okay. Have you seen the car those librarians drive nowadays? Lars adds dryly. I didn't even give him the California accent, are you serious? But on a serious note, Matt starts, you could probably rent a better place if it weren't for all that money you owe to the library. I mean, something closer by, so you wouldn't have to walk. Listen, Matt. Lars rejects. You don't need to know, but you don't know the first thing about a student housing situation around here. Daddy set you up with the penthouse apartment, remember? That disqualifies your views in real estate. Okay. Now William here is the man of the people, he continues. He rents in Ryberry because that's where the masses dwell. We aren't all equally privileged, dude. Shut up, Lars, I reply. You're going off again. Yeah, shut up, Lars, with your stupid California accent. I drink some beers to calm my throat, which has become hoarse from all the shouting. My voice is already kind of hoarse from all the talking in this huge visual novel. Matt started dancing one of his goofy dances, then I see him point towards his chest. I've got all the t-shirt. I've got the t-shirt. I've got all the t-shirt. He calls out towards Bernard, who frowns and looks the other way. So far, Bernard hasn't talked. I don't like him. Maybe he's the killer. After a few minutes, Evelyn joins us, pretty drunk and well. Okay, cool. Been waiting long? She calls out. No, not. Lars starts, but she cuts him off. Who's buying the next round? I don't know what the voice we gave her. I just gave her a girl voice, the closest to a girl voice I can give. No, Lars interjects. We're leaving right now. Don't you dare order anything. Don't you dare order anything, dude. Okay. Are we already out? Yeah, I think so, because the music's not blasting in my ears anymore. Or yours. You look tired, Evelyn comments as we're on our way to the Otter. Okay. Tired, I reply. Me? I shouldn't be. I just got out of bed. She smiles in disbelief. Okay. Never mind, I pause, not knowing what to say. You know, Proteus is a hellhole. Oh yeah, it's filled with losers during the week, but it's okay on Saturday nights, you know, for picking up drunk desk jockeys. Picking up drunk desk jockeys, I inquire. You do that a lot? Oh, not at all. But you get the idea. She casts me into a teasing glance. Still, it's a lot more fun on the weekends. Try it. Evelyn's more a school teacher than seductress. She embodies a type of homely kindness, with her round cheeks and matronizing tone of voice, to the extent that I often feel like a small child in her presence. Okay? It's nice. It started raining again, and by the time the five of us reached the otter, water's pouring down from the skies. Okay? That's not very great. It's quiet inside. Students are lounging around on the sofas, and a couple of old people are talking at the bar. I head for the restrooms. After carefully confirming I'm all alone, I take a look in the mirror. My face appears exceptionally pale and skinny. I've been sleeping 11 hours a day, and you end up skipping meals that way. Yep. There's always that heavy feeling in my stomach, as if I can't bear any solid foods. I dry off my washed out face with a piece of toilet paper and gently knock off some color into my cheeks. Okay, so now we're in Starbucks again, I hope. You should probably go to Starbucks instead of drinking beer. On my right turn, there's a glass of beer waiting for me. Actually, I've never ordered anything from Starbucks. Okay. Oh, hey, what's up, Bernard? And now the issue with you, Lars, Bernard exclaimed loudly, is that you have some Oriental blood in you. That's why you can't discuss these topics in a rational manner. Jeez, Bernard, you're such a snob. Matt laughs out loud. Bullshit, Lars replies. You know that's nonsense. I don't see how that's even relevant to the discussion. Oh, I'm sure you do, Bernard calls out with a sneer in his voice. I don't have to do the Bernard voice for all the dialogue. You're missing my point, Lars continues. If a notorious apologist like Fassir writes that 3,000 people were massacred, you can definitely question his numbers. Jeez, you're such a nerd, Bernard. Lars is using an overly grave demeanor. Now that he always puts on when he's trying to win historical debates. It's annoying, but so is Bernard, so they cancel each other out. Okay, yeah, both of them are not the coolest guys. Okay, come on. I don't know who's talking. Come on. How many people are you going to shoot down with an M95? Bernard coughs loudly, sending a cascading echo through the bar. They were on that island for 2 months, tops. Okay, I don't even know what they're arguing about. 3 months, Lars corrects him. Remember Babby Jar? 3,000 dead in only 2 days? I don't really see the point you're trying to make, dude. Babby Jar, why would you even bring that up? I'm about to interject, but I changed my mind. Look, I can think a death toll of 3,000 is on the conservative side, Bernard continues soothingly, but you're clearly exaggerating. You think people always want to blame us for everything. Jeez. You people, Lars exclaims. Bernard, what are you implying? I told you I'm not Oriental, dude. Jeez. Bernard and Lars are weird. As a German lit major, I don't really excel in trivial knowledge, let alone history. But that's okay. I know other things. Yeah? My analytic skills are a lot better developed than theirs, and there's something that strange contentment I get from fathoming an old, forgotten piece of literature, a sensation that goes far beyond the world of dry facts. It's something personal, not suitable for pub talk. Yeah, probably. Evelyn returns from somewhere. I finished my beer. Yeah. Okay, I have to do this girl voice again, jeez. William, you look pale. You should go outside more. Evelyn calls in my direction. She's drunk, so that's why her voice is annoying. I'm trying to think of a witty comeback, but I'm tired, and Matt beats me to it. What do you mean? Go outside more? He's walked here all day. From Rybury. From Rybury? Aaron gasps in surprise. Let's move to the sofas, I reply, wary of the Mora's banter. Okay. These guys are crazy, but I kind of like them at the same time. New guests arrive and shake out their coats. The barman pours drinks. Voices reverberate. It's warm. Someone hands me another beer. It's growing increasingly more difficult to follow the conversation. So far, I think Bernard is the murderer. After a while, we're sitting in the wooden tables that stand against the back of the room. The chair I'm sitting at is on the upholstered with a lovely green velvet that glides softly through my fingers like damp moss. Okay. Electronics, wind instruments. Okay. But that's not true innovation. The electronics just add without changing the fundamental structure of the music. If a rock band uses a violin or a keyboard, it's nice as something extra, but it doesn't threaten the holy trinity of guitar, drum, and bass. Just imagine, there are millions of bands. Every conceivable song has been written for. Every pop song, Bernard interjects, but they ignore him. That's so stupid. I can hear from the way you're talking that you don't even have a basic comprehension of music theory. Do you even know what frequency is? I focus my attention towards the large try-hard Art Nouveau posters hanging above the wall. Okay. By the way, I saw you had the t-shirt. That's great.
By the way, I saw you had the t-shirt. That's great.
Evelyn calls out to Matt, who disinterestedly tearing up at a bar coaster. Tearing up, jeez. A smile appears on his face. That's right. I've got the t-shirt. Can't wait till January. I scratch my chair a little bit more. The faces around me are a blur. I doze off for a moment. Yeah, you deserve it. You've walked a lot. So, you should drink something. You should drink something. A voice calls out to me. Oh, it's Lars. I sit up. It's Lars, who placed a new beer next to my half-full glass. Okay, thanks, I guess. Sure thing, I reply quietly as I take a sip and doze off again. Wow. Okay, you should take a sip. Are you serious? Time passes. Voices grow silent. Evelyn leaves, and she's got work the next morning. The older people have also disappeared. Okay. Someone somewhere starts speaking. Am I secretly a werewolf or what? For months on end, the workmen were drawn from their homes and families to work on the earthen embankment that would protect the polder against the water. At night, they were packed tightly together in their makeshift barracks. Even the slightest breeze would set off the cold, dark water of the lake beating up against the wooden walls. And the only thing that kept them warm was the thick layer of skin, of mud, that was caked to their bodies. Okay. I didn't get to read that last section because I went too fast. Jeez. They set out to work with iron willpower every day under conditions that bordered slavery. A task that seemed endless as the waters of the artificial lake. But a superhuman ethos lived among them, a steely resolve that kept the men united, as if their minds were riveted together, and they no longer cared for the matters of every day. Sorry, I was like doing a slight yawn. The brackish, muddy culture arose among the workmen of the lake. They told each other stories after work, although none of them were ever put to paper. Okay, that's fine. At least I can tell the tale. It's not that I lived to tell the tale. It's just that I knew the tale. So that's already something, right? After the embankment was finished, the remaining water was pumped out. Slowly patches of earth fell dry. That's nice. The moon again. At first, the reclaimed seabed was bare and inhospitable, too soft to set foot upon. But soon dramatic changes began to take place amongst the waterlogged marshes. Okay? Crops started to sprout, and I need to yawn. I don't want to yawn though. I need to keep reading. Crops started to sprout and rooted effortlessly in muddy soil, where they fought each other for survival. Okay? Move, the elderberry hissed to the knotweed. This is my spot. The knotweed, however, bowed for no one, and stealthily crept up to the elderberry. Don't fear, he whispered back. You'll root here, untamed elderberry. You don't need all that space, do you? The elderberry felt violated, but tried not to let it show. She rose out so high above the other plants. What could really hurt her? Yet she wasn't at ease with the knotweed curled up so close around her feet. That vulgar, seedy shrub. What had it all developed into? Okay, and while the plants competed amongst each other, the workmen tried to reintegrate stuff, but the dry world wouldn't take them back. With their dreamy gazes and stoic attitude to life, some of the men eventually found work on the large oil rigs in the sea. Okay, there they created a life that felt somewhat familiar, where the days were long and the sea. Sorry, I'm just adjusting myself a little bit. And the sea would beat up against the platform in the same stable rhythm that they had been accustomed to. But in the end, the greasy sensation of oil on their hands never came close to the safe, dry mud that encapsulated them during the long nights on the lake. Okay? Other men became drunkards, got incarcerated, or ended up taking their own lives. Well, sucks to be you. Their vain search for an existence of total surrender, as they had grown accustomed on the lake. There, completely destroyed them. They were rendered indebted to a path, an immaterial battle against the forces of nature that existed only for a very short period of time. And the polder, that unsightly artificial island, cast out of bed of a murdered sea, kept changing. After plants had sprouted all around, the first generations of insects emerged. They bred effortlessly in the swampy pools of mud. Sorry, my body wants to yawn, but I'm trying to keep it away. At first, there were thousands, then hundreds of thousands, then millions. They multiplied faster than good for them, and fell like rain from the sky. Dead flies lay scattered all around, and the brave pioneer who dared send his automobile over the narrow, unhardened roads had to rely solely on the windshield wipers to retain even a trace of visibility. Okay. The first inhabitants of the polder, a completely different kind of people than the men who had built it, were terrified by the sight of them. Okay. On the hottest summer days, the flies flew into the houses. Dang it. The polder sucks. The polder sounds terrible. In and out, day and night, drowning in beer glasses and pounding themselves to death against the window panes. School children swept the corpses together on the windowsills to hold the morbid snowball fights in the yard. Okay. And there was always that maddening sound. That noise, after getting out of bed in the morning, started with a dozen flies pounding against the glass, and upon arrival in the kitchen had already swollen to a huge humming choir. The worst came after opening the front door, when the full extent of the cacophonous terrorism revealed itself in an alien symphony, a gruesome masterpiece of thousands of voices buzzing through the streets. Jeez. Sounds terrifying. Though I'm trying to envision it in my mind right now, that sounds terrifying. There were only a few summers in which the fly population was this high. Okay? That was before the spiders came, of course. Okay? The text went away. Now it's black, because the game likes doing that. And white, too. Can't ignore that. I don't even recall leaving the otter. Okay? Maybe because you were drunk? I don't really know. As we get closer to the inner ring, the brick facades give way to modern office buildings. Lars and I cross the road and dive into a narrow alleyway where the abyss is located. Oh yeah, pump it up again. Lars is off to the bar. Yeah, I sit and observe the DJ for a while, a dark-haired woman with an angry expression on her face. Of course, all DJs are angry for some reason. All women DJs are angry for some reason, I meant. She's probably annoyed at having to work tonight. She's pretty rubbish at it too, considering that nobody's dancing. Okay, I guess. Lars returns with beers. Oh, what's up, dude? The doorman lied to us. He said it was busy inside, dude. Oh, okay. Look at that grumpy DJ. Or, it's my voice. Look at that grumpy DJ, I say, slurring my speech. Lars seems distracted. Okay. Hey, it's Anna. Anna Mulder from the theater committee. She's got some girlfriends with her, dude. Lars is pointing over at a group of women. They all seem to have the same shade of chestnut brown hair, though that could be due to the lighting. Okay. I don't think dance clubs have very good lighting. Met her once, I reply. Okay. I don't know whose voice it is. It's not like Undertale words with the character's face next to it. She's cute. Let's go say hello. Okay. We approached the girls with Lars leading the way and started to see the world a little sharper again. Lars nudges and sorry, I'm just getting real into the mood of this thing. Okay, I'm assuming that's Lars right there, and those are the two girls. This is Mr. Hoffman. This is Mr. Hoffman, he announces to the girls, pointing at me. You know him, right, dudes? Even those girls. Anna casts a glance in my direction. I don't think I do, she replies. But how you been doing, Lars? Saturine beats pound into me, dragging me further out of my fatigue. My attention is grabbed by the girl standing next to Anna. She's short, and on closer inspection, it appears that her hair is slightly lighter than the others, okay? Isn't her name Caroline or Jasmine, maybe? She's majoring in anthropology, and she's also on the theater committee, if I recall correctly. Okay, there's something about the way her pointy nose protrudes above her fine upper lip. It's tender. That's kind of creepy. Noble, almost. Okay, kind of creep. Suddenly, she looks my way and smiles, though it's a tormented smile. She thinks I'm a creep, staring at her. Yeah, kind of are. I avert my gaze, okay? Rightfully, or not rightfully, but, correctly, I guess. I take a sip of my beer and hold the glass up to the light. The yellow liquid gently washes back and forth, evoking an impression of waving cornfields. Okay? Jasmine's a pretty girl, and it'd be better if she didn't see me standing here by myself. I feel an urge to go outside. I lean over to interrupt Lars's conversation. Hey Lars, I'm calling it a night. This place closes in 10 minutes. This place closes in 10 minutes, dude. Shouts back in my ear. Stay a little longer, dude. Okay. I would stay a little longer, I guess. I mean, it's only a few minutes. Okay. I feel like the plot twist is going to be that we're a vampire. Or not a vampire, but a werewolf. He's like 10 minutes later, I'm staying outside. Wait, that's why he wants to leave, because he'll turn into a wolf. I don't even know what I'm saying. I should just read the story. Okay? The train stop. The bus station is built slightly higher than the surrounding landscape, offering an intriguing view of the N723. In the distance, I can see a vast expanse of fields and wind turbines that lead all the way to the edge of the polder. Nice. Going into the abyss was a ridiculous waste of time. Great. I try to recall how Lars talked me into it, but it's fuzzy. The stuffy air, the weak beer, the conceited voices. It may have started raining outside, as the humming of night seems to have grown slightly louder. Okay? Whew. What would Lars and Anna be doing at the moment? With my right hand, I softly stroked the empty seat beside me, the engine's making a gurgling sound. Okay? The temperature's rising, and the swaying of the vehicle almost rocks me to sleep. That's nice. Stripes drift over my retina. For a moment, I'm back in the club with Jasmine, the center of attention. I wake up just in time for the library to stop. This is nice. I take my shoes off at the bottom of the stairs, head upwards, enter my room, place my shoes on the floor, fall down on the bed. Oh yeah, that's what I was talking about. Before I drift away, I wants to drink some water. Before I drift away, I wants to drink some water. What? That's strange. To drink water later. Set the alarm clock. Make it to 3 o'clock lecture. So we're gonna go to sleep. The water nymphs left long ago. Okay, yeah, I still hear roaring waves. Okay, I open my eyes to a rustling field of corn, a cyanotype C. When I press space, it doesn't move. What happens if I click it? Oh, okay. So what do I open my eyes to? A rustling field of corn, a cyanotype C. A cyanotype C. C is cooler. Okay, the ocean's nicer. So what are they gonna do with that information? A terrible drought is raging through my mouth. I'm breathing heavily. It hurts to swallow. I attempt to sit upright, but my head is pounding, and I sink down again. I doze off. Okay. And those are my windows again. I've spent about 45 minutes playing this game, and I've seen my windows twice. That's great. 2 hours later, the room's spinning. I drag myself to the sink and force myself to drink the nauseating lukewarm water like a camel before a desert journey. Then I get up on my toes to open the tall window. A gust of fresh air blows into the room as if a vacuum seal has been broken. I pause for a moment to breathe in the air. Take as long as you like, just 1 more hour of sleep, then everything will be fine again. Okay, and while I'm lying on my bed, more and more cold air flows into the room. The condensation on the window slowly seeps away. My leg hair rises up straight. Okay? And the layers of dust under my bed blow upwards and spread throughout the room to form an invisible layer on the floor and books. Okay? I'm breathing quietly now, my sleep growing deeper. I dream a dream in which I keep missing the bus. Good for you, or sucks to be you, I meant. Jeez, 3 hours pass before I stir again. It's 14:36. I'm feeling much better now. My phone battery is almost dead. Oh, it sucks to be this person. That's just my point. I get up, shove a few library books in my bag, and descend the stairs. New is written in giant letters on the window. Okay, I'm not sure why. That's some bottles right there. Inside, a range of primary colors is poured out on me. The refrigerator unit produces a constant drone. E-Mart's bread section has little more to offer than a few bags of toaster strudel and a squashed loaf of white. The smell of spoiled dairy is starting to affect me. I haven't eaten since yesterday evening. For a while, I stand there, inspecting a large rack of mineral water just to rest my overstimulated eyes. Yeah, my eyes are being overstimulated right now, too, staring at that white. The people here live 4 meters below sea level, and yet they're willing to pay money for water. Yep, they should impose an they should impose an import ban on stuff. One day it'll be up to our necks again. I grab a box of cornflakes from the shelf. There's a short line at the cash register. Okay? The man in front of me must be in his late 40s, with flabby arms and long, light red hair that's all tied back into a ponytail, save for a few dry strands that fall down over his sweaty forehead. Okay? And in his shopping basket, I see 2.5-liter cans of beer, a tin of condensed milk, and a bag of cannery feed. Canary? Would he make it if the dikes broke through? Would he be able to swim against the current with those chubby arms of his? I hope he has enough time to set his little bird free. Yeah, canary. I mean, I don't have a pet bird. Whoa, it's a cat! Not much the other day, and encountered an unknown gray cat sitting on the wall near the motorway. Okay, what's up, kitty kitty? I play a game where I'm a cat. The animal's eyeing me, stubbornly. Okay. He looks ancient, perhaps older than myself, with battered ears and thinning fur. Okay. I take out a handful of cornflakes and place them on the wall next to him. Yeah, come on. Here, kitty. I got some food for you. You better not have rabies. He sniffs at them disinterestedly before pacing away. Jeez. So picky, kitty. You're a street cat. You should be grateful I'm giving you anything. Okay? Here's the street. As the town hall has been under renovation, it's draped in thick polyethylene sheeting. On a pale December afternoon, the covers have been the same light gray hue as the sky, camouflaging the building into a colossal chasm on the central square. Okay, that's fine. A young man, tall, black, hoodie, and glasses approaches me. Oh, what's up, hipster? You want a flyer? You want a flyer? He asks me routinely as he hands me. I'm gonna give him another accent. You want a flyer? You want a flyer? He asks me routinely as he hands me an orange pamphlet and prepares to move on. But I stop him. Wait a minute. What's this? I ask. He halts and turns to face me. Oh, it's a flyer. It's a flyer for one front. He replies dismissively. Flyer for one front. With his right hand, he's holding a stack of pamphlets against his leg while riffling through them nervously with his thumb. His scruffy blonde hair protrudes from his head in irregular tufts. For some reason, he seems like the ideal target. Okay? One front, I reply, grinning nervously. Tell me about them. Well, we stand for our national identity. Identity. He replies, you've probably noticed that it's getting busier over here, where we're under pressure from all sides. My accent is getting, like, I'm trying to keep up the Australian accent, but I can't. I interrupt him. We're under pressure, you say? That sounds dangerous. As I said, our culture's the only one that's being threatened, he continues. You've probably experienced for yourself how this city is changing. We're losing our core values. You're a student, yeah, right. I nod. Well, as a student, you've got to realize that things are happening to this country that really transgress all boundaries. I'm talking like big topics, like mass immigration, terrorism. What are your thoughts on that? He stopped talking, as if waiting for a response. So what do you think about Diepenbrock? I ask him. The heck? Oh, is this the DJ? This must be the DJ. That's not what I mean, he replies. It's generally our way of life, our values. I interrupt him again. Diepenbrock, what do you know about him? Isn't he an outspoken symbol of our national identity? Okay. The boy's fidgeting impatiently, as if he's looking for a way out of the conversation. You know, that's cool. He replies, literature is important. I think I read one of his books in high school once, but I really have to continue handing out. Read one of his books? Wait, what book? I shout out triumphantly, my eyes glistening. Diepenbrock wasn't an author. Was he? Come on, Diepenbrock. Alfie Diepenbrock. He seems downright irritated now. Good one, you got me. You got me, he sneers. He sneers. Just read that flyer, boy. Okay, there, I finally got the accent. I was about to leave, I take out his pamphlet that I'd stuffed into my jacket pocket, crumbled it up into a ball, and throw it at his feet. Okay. Diepenbrock, don't forget that name. Violet Orange Blanca Blue. Okay. That was a strange conversation. As he moves away, I consider trailing behind him. I consider trailing him, but I decide against it. Okay. Good. 50 meters further, he resumes handing out flyers in the same evasive manner as before. In the library, I pass reading halls filled with students quietly at work. They're probably not the brightest. If they have to study this hard, it's not even close to exam week. Yeah. Okay. I take 3 books from my bag and hand them to the administration's officer. He's a young guy, probably a student himself, trying to earn something on the side. That's fine. I have no problem with that. Oh, what's up, Samuel? Okay, I'm gonna give him a voice. They're late. They're late. No, I need to give him a better voice. They're late. He tells me after scanning the books, like really, really late. All 3 of them. He has an apologetic grimace on his face. I give him that thick Russian accent. So what's the damage? I ask stoically. There is a $12.50 late fee, he replies, per book, so that makes $37.50 total. In total. What? I exclaim, slightly louder than intended, as a wave of anxiety rushes over me. Sorry, he replies sympathetically. I know, hi, but you've had them for months 5. The library must have sent you plenty books warnings. But it's a library fine, I protest, fully aware that I'm making a scene. It should be 10 cents per week or something like that. This is ridiculous. Yes, but it's a new policy prevent inconceiving the other students. People may be waiting for that book. You know. I pause for a second, contemplating the futility of arguing with the overly patient Russian administration's officer, but I feel obliged to put up a fight, even if it's just for a show. Okay? So, do they get the money? So, did they get the money? What do you mean? He asks. Do those poor students get the money from late fees wired over to them? If they're so inconvenienced? Jeez, huge chill. Listen, he replies, audibly growing tired of the conversation. I don't make rules over here. He stops to look at something up on his computer. The system shows you have 18 more titles at home. I'd return all. Get it over with. I'd get over with. Consider this lesson learned. He smiles. Return all? I need those books. So what happens if I keep them longer? You bankrupt me? I pay tuition, you know. It won't hire. Fees are capped at $12.50 per book. Do you want to pay the amount for those 3 right now? Or should I add it to your payments too? You can add them, I reply. And if it's capped at $12.50, I'm keeping these. I pick up the books from the counter. I might as well get my money's worth. Wow, it's actually smart. I'd advise against that. He chuckles. It's really not how a library works. It's really not how library works. It isn't, probably. Okay, who's that? Is that Dad? Oblivious to the rain, shoppers scurry towards the last bargains of the day. I'm trying to disregard their neuroticism as much as possible, but they still end up getting in my way. Suddenly a familiar voice. Okay. Are you okay, old boy? Who is this? Is it Lars? Bernard, have you finished working? Yes, he answers. Busy day. Shay, I didn't know you lurked here before sundown. Let's go get a beer somewhere. Sure, Bernard. Weirdo. Guys, actually, I realize that I'm gonna stop recording pretty soon, because I don't know how long this game is, and I'm hoping that there's enough content for another episode, hopefully. But I'm gonna stop it a little bit. I'm just gonna read probably a few more lines of dialogue, and then I'll quit. 2 beers, I call out to the bartender as we pass by. The man picks up 2 glasses and starts pouring. Bernard nudges me. Oh, great, Bernard. Actually, I felt like having a wine, he whispers gloomily into my ear. What do you mean, I ask him. You just suggested we have a beer. That was a figure of speech, but beer's okay. It doesn't matter. Also a red wine, please, I call out to the bartender who's just finished pouring. It really doesn't matter, Bernard grumbles sorely. Okay, we pick up the drinks and head upstairs. We're going to the Starbucks place. Brunjek is a small pub stimulated in the corner residential block. Okay, guys, this is where I'm gonna leave it off. In Brunjek. We'll put it in slot 1, I guess. Wednesday, June 10th, 2020. Sure. And I'll quit in a little bit. But goodbye. I'll see you in the next video. I had a Coke here so that I took a few breaks in between to get a Coke. It was really good. I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be a Battle Cats maybe. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, goodbye. I'll see you in the next video. I love you, and I'll see you soon.